Hey guys, welcome back to Soft Original, and we are going to work on this project. So this edition is the fourth part of this antivirus system, and today we are going to work on the smart scan, um, and also the deep scan and other scan. But the first thing we're going to tackle is actually the deep scan. These are one of the things people have been willing to do throughout this course. So before we get started, if you know you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which wouldn't take even 5 seconds of your time doing that. And subscribing to my YouTube channel will give you the opportunity to get more whenever I post any content. Right, so with no further ado, let's get started to the main video. Well, so previously, this is what we did, and it was really, really awesome, really, really cool. Now, on today's video, how we're going to do is we're going to let this system scans for a threat. Well, I know you guys will be wondering, okay, how can we do this? How can we do that? I'm actually going to show you. I mean, absolutely from scratch. Great. So this is our previous project we did. I really love it because I mean it's really really cool, and we are only focusing on these two guys, most especially this guy and this kind of guy. You understand? Right, so let's get to work. So the first thing we have to add is a timer. So this timer is going to monitor whenever a file is being scanned, and also we need a folder browse dialog. And basically, this folder browse dialog is going to be the dialog which will allow us to scan a particular folder for some files. And also one more thing, we will use open file dialog just right here. So we have three of these things. We have a timer, we have a folder browse dialog, and then we have an open file dialog. So these are the most important things we actually need from here. Now, let's start with a deep scan. I really want to start with a deep scan. So, with a deep scan, double click on the deep scan button, and there you go. Now, let's start writing some codes down. So, we first have to check if the dialog is being opened, meaning the person want to search for some files in folder to scan it. So that is one thing we actually have to care about that. So let's assume we want to scan a particular directory. How can we do that? So we're just going to use if statement. So if the folder browse dialog one dot show dialog, and if the dialog window results, the results, which is the dialog results, is being okay, meaning the person really wants to open a file. So in that case, the list box we created, okay, so basically we have to add some list box which will help us to um, get access to the files. So the files in that particular folder will be redirected into that list view. But first of all, we have a list view. So let's just go ahead and add the list view first. So just going to say list view one dot items dot clear, meaning we are clearing all the items from this list view, right? So this is list view one, and basically we are clearing everything from that list view. So the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to use else, then we exit the sub, right? So that is the only thing we will do here. But after the if, we have to use on error, go to, let's use resume next. And this is where we are going to scan every single file in that path or in that directory. So we're just going to say for each, let's call this str file, and this is going to be a string. Great. And this string is going to be from the system.io dot directory, and this directory we're going to get the files in that directory, and where we are getting the files is from the folder browse dialog one dot the selected path we selected during browsing a directory to scan for the threads. Now we have to use an extension, meaning we want to focus on all files. I mean, we are focusing on all files, which means we want to read every single file in that particular directory. So to do the next thing, we actually have to say io.search options dot all directories. So basically, since we are using all directories, then we are basically good to go. So after this, we just have to come to the next line, and all we have to do is we just have to say list view one dot items. Okay, so first of all, let's add a list box which will handle the items, right? So I'm just going to add one list box here, just any ordinary list box, and this will list out everything. So I'm just going to put this somewhere here. I will later hide it. It's not going to be a problem. I just want it to be there for a reference. So what we're going to do is list box one dot items. Yeah, dot add. So we are adding something, and that is going to be from the str file. This is it. So next thing we want to do is we want to start our timer one. So timer one dot start. So basically the timer one is going to be the one which will do the whole function and everything. I believe you guys really understand what I'm trying to um, achieve here. So now it's time for us to do the timer one coding. And yeah, we have to start working on the timer one. So let's go to our main screen, double click on the timer, and now we have to start building the timer. First of all, we have to create some functions which is going to help us to identify the target files we have. So before we code that, let's come up here. Now before we do that, let's do some imports. So we are going to import system.io. That is one thing. And we will import system.security.cryptography. And also we will import system.text. So import system.text. That is perfect. And yeah, I think we're good to go. So now from here, let's create a new private MD5 hash. And we will assign this as new hash. And this is going to be a hash set. And this is going to be a set of strings, because we will be referencing them from a string, just like this. And basically, this will store the string in the memory. You understand? So we have to declare a new private, and this is going to be a constant. So private const, and this is going to be called MD5 hashes. Let's call this MD5 hash file path. That is going to be the path where we have all our threads, like our virus list and all that, to be stored at. And this is going to be declared as strange. And I'm going to call this guy main.db, right? Good. Now let's declare private target MD5 hash as list. So this is going to be the list of hashes, and it's going to be of strings, of course. So now after we have this, basically we have to declare a file hash at a higher scope. This is going to be the hash it will be as a thread. You understand? So we will declare a private file hash as strange, right? There you go. Now it's time for us to create a function which will load the target hashes. So basically, this is going to read the MD5 hashes from the file into a list. You understand? So how are we going to do this? Let's create a private sub, and let's declare a private sub, and this is going to be called load target MD5 hashes, like that. Right. So we have this sub, And now this tab is where we are actually going to start doing the whole thing. So all we have to say is we have our target MD5 hashes, and we will set it to a new list. And this list is of course going to be a list of strings, and that is going to read them into list. It's going to read the hashes into a list. That is perfectly done fine. Now let's check if the file exists. If the file exists in the MD5 hashes, then we should actually read the line. If the file does not exist, then of course we should show some message. So let's say if file.exists, and what file are we focusing? We are focusing the MD5 hash file path. If only it exists, then we have to set the target file hashes, and we will add a range. And of course, this range we will be adding will be coming from the file, and we read every single line of the file. And what line are we reading? We are reading the MD5 hashes file path, just like that. Okay, so else, then it means there was no hash detected. So in that case, we have to use a message box dot show, and now we will just show a simple message, say MD5 hash file does not exist, meaning it doesn't exist. Basically it doesn't exist. So we have our load target here. So basically this is going to load the target. You understand? Great. So now, first of all, since we are done with it, let's go back to the timer, and now we can start working the timer. So basically we have to initialize the code. So all we have to say is load target MD5 hashes, just like that. That is going to be the first thing we are going to call. Now, we have a progress bar. So what we're going to say is progress bar. We have progress bar 1 and 2. So progress bar 1 dot maximum, we will set the maximum to the list box we have dot items dot count. So it is going to set the duration or the length of the progress bar to the item list. So the more the items are being counted, or the more the items are being counted, then the progress bar indicator is going to indicate what it is being counted. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to achieve here. You understand? Great. So from the scanning section, I think we have a label. Don't we have any label? I think we don't have any label. So we can actually use the if statement to check if there is any problem here. Right. So all we have to say is if our progress bar 1 dot value, if the value is set less than the progress bar 1 dot value dot maximum, sorry, then we have to use try catch exception so that we can catch up any error to prevent it crashing our software. So the list box 1 we have, we will choose the selected index by increasing it by 1, just like this. So it will scan every single file in that specific list box. Now, we have LBL last. The text of that LBL last, we will set it to the list box 1, the selected item dot to strange, meaning we will be showing the particular file which is scanning for us to know that, oh, this is the file which of course we are actually scanning. And that is really, really good. Now, after we are done with this, we have to catch any error if there is any error. So we will just use MSG box. Then we will just use the ex.message just to pop up a message if there is any message crashing our software. So after this, we have to use another try catch exception, and now we have to get the file extension. Either it is PNG, MP4, MOV file, exe. We have to get the file extension. So let's declare file extension as string, and this string is going to be set to a path where we will get the extension of the file. And where are we getting the extension? Is actually coming from the list box one dot selected items dot to string, just like this, right? And we have to set it to lowercase, so it's going to be to lower, just like that, right? And basically, since we have this, we are good to go. So now we have to calculate the MD5 hashes of that current scan file. You understand? Yeah, we have to calculate that. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I have to do this. Right. So we have to calculate that particular file, which is being, which of course the extension is being calculated. So let's declare file hash, and let's set it to, let's call this, okay, let's calculate it. So we will say calculate MD5, and we will create that in no time because it's a function. We actually have to create it, and we will calculate the listbox one dot selected item dot to string, right? There you go. Just like this, we will create the calculate in no time. Now if the target MD5 hashes dot contains, meaning if it contains anything related to the file hashes, right? If it contains anything in the file hashes, then that file matches one of our, MD5 hashes, meaning it is a threat. So in that case, we will create another function called add item to list view, because we will be adding the item to the list view. We will create that function in no time, and now we will add it from the list view dot selected item dot to string, just like this. Now, not that only, but I would like to set a heading and a file extension. So I'll just say this is threat, and I will pass the file extension just like that, and I'll set a color. If it is a threat, it's going to set the color to red, just like this. I believe you understand. Now, since we have this, we're actually good to go. So we just have to say, if that is the case, then we have to check if the file hashes are not matching, meaning it is not a threat. So in that case, we have to um, we have to we have to see that the file does not match any target, so it is a clean file. So in that case, we will say add item to list, which of course we will be creating in no time, and it's going to be the list box one dot selected item dot to string. And from the string inside here, now we're just going to set the name to clean, just like this. And we will use the file extension, and also we will set the color to green. Okay, so just like this, and we will be good to go. Now we have to handle any error. If we catches any error, so it's going to be MSG box, then we will just specify the message, just like that. Now, since we are done with this, let's try and increase the progress indication. So we will just say progress bar one dot increment. Let's set it to 1, just like this. And we have progress bar 2 dot increment. Let's set that one to 1. That is perfect. Now we have LBL virus. Let's set that text to the total number of virus, right? So that is going to be, I don't know, let's just keep this for the meantime. We will work on that later on, right? So if that is the case, then we have to use else statement here. And we have to say the list view one we have dot enabled should be set to true, right? Just like this. And the timer one should stop, just like that. So basically, we are stopping the timer and we are good to go. But we also have to check. Um, I don't know. We just have to set the values to 0 if we are good to go. That means the timer, the indication is done. So all we have to do is we just have to say progress bar one dot value should set to 0, and progress bar one bar two dot value should set to 0, right? So since we have this is a timer. So let's create the calculate MD5 hashes. You know, this is one of the function we will be using. You understand? It's basically one of the function we will be using. So to do that, basically, let's just go to um wait a minute. Um okay, let's just go up here and create that function here. So it's going to be a private function, and we're going to call this calculate MD5, just like that. And inside here, we will pass a file path, and that is going to be a string because we will pass that string. And it's all going to be a string as well. So inside here, what we're going to use is we are using the MD5. Let's call this MD5, and let's set it to MD5. Yeah. And now we will set this MD5 to MD5. Oh, sorry. MD5 dot create. And also inside here, we will be using a stream for this. So using stream as file stream, perfect. We will set it to a file dot open read. And what this is going to read is going to read this file path we have up here. I mean, this file path is what is going to read. Good, excellent. Now, since we are using another one, let's declare a hash byte as file stream. Perfect. And this file stream is going to be file dot open read. And this open read is going to be from a stream. And you know, this stream is going to be this stream we have here. Perfect. Okay. So now we have to declare a hash stream. This is going to be a hash string builder. And this is going to be set as, oh, come on. This is going to be set as a new string builder. Great. Now we're going to use for each hash byte as byte in hash byte, just like this. That is good. So in hash bytes, then the hash builder, hash string builder, is going to append. And what is going to append is actually going to be the hash byte dot to string, and we will set this to this string. Good. We're good to go. Now, the next thing we have to do is we will return. So let's return a hash string builder dot to string if in. That's good. So since we are done with this becomes a function for us. But I think the hash byte we have here. Let's see the error. So it says expression is a type of file stream, which is not collection of type. So let's see what we have here. So let's see, we are using MD5 as MD5. Oh, so this is where the problem is. Let's just remove this guy. Okay. And also we are using a stream as file stream. Of course, file open is readed. We are declaring a hash bytes as byte. Oh, not a file system, basically. It's going to be as byte. Oh, sorry, guys. So it's going to be as byte, and we will set this byte to MD5 we created dot compute hash, and this is going to be from the stream. Yeah, perfect, and we are good to go. So now we actually have this calculate MD5, well, good to go. Now the next thing we have to tackle is actually tackling the add to list item. I mean, so this guy is actually going to be a function, which of course we will be creating here. So just say private sub. Let's call this add list item. Add item to list view, and basically this we will pass some parameters here. Let's pass a file name, and this is going to be a strange, and we need a status that is going to be a strange as well. And what again? We need a file type. You understand? And this is also going to be a strange. And also we need a color as color. Right? Awesome. Now, inside here, what we have to do is let's declare item as new list view item. And this item is going to be from the file name we created. Awesome. Awesome. Nice. Now we have to add the file type as a sub item. You understand? So that it can be listed here as a type. You understand? And then the status. So let's do that. So all we can do is item dot sub items dot add. And now we will add a file type like that. And now we have to add the status as well. So item dot sub items dot add, and this time we will add the status. Perfect. Now after the status, let's add a color. So item dot sub items dot add color. Awesome. Now since we are done with this, we're good to go. You understand? We're good to go. Okay. Okay, so this is not going to be like a color like this, but we just say item dot for color should now be set to the color. Yeah, we are dealing with a for color. All right, so let's see what we have here. Yeah, so let's clear the list box one dot clear. So dot items dot clear. Perfect. Awesome. Now let's see what we have here. I think we are basically done. So now the next thing we're gonna do is create one database file right here, which of course we can use as a database file. So what we're going to do is let's go to our Explorer file, click on this file, this solution file, right click, and let's go to open folder file in Explorer. And this is where our project file is, our project directory. So let's go inside our debug. You see, I have this main.db. Basically, let me show you what this main.db carries. So we just copy this right here, and this is a list of database. So basically, if you don't have one, let me quickly show you how to create one. So in this video, I'm just going to go here, and what I'll do is I will just create a new file like that, like a new text file, and I'll call this virus list.db. So it's going to be like just like that. So I can actually open this right here, and I'll just go to file, save as, or I can open it in VS Code or any other thing. So I can basically save it as, and now it's asking me from the same directory, and this is the file path, this is the extension. I can save it as any type I want by saving with encoding and all that. You understand? Good. So you have to save it with a .db file. Or if you have SQLite, let me show you one more thing. If you have SQLite, like a DB browser SQLite. You can basically use this to create that database with just one table. Then you're good to go. If you don't have that, don't worry. I'll be giving you a link to download this file, this main DB file from the description. So you will be able to get access to this main.db file. And that is what we are referring to this database list file, right? Understood? Great. So now let's try this and let's see. Right, so we have this, we click on this scan now, and now we have this right here. So when we click on this deep scan, it's actually asking us for a certain directory we want to scan. So let's go to the desktop and we can just click on the dummy, click on OK, and you see the last file scan was this. You understand? And it was added to this list view. You understand? Let's do another one. Let's see. Maybe we go to the cube, click on open. You see, it is actually scanning. It is actually scanning. You know, this is not really scanning according to the accuracy of it. So we actually have to um, relate to this one. This one is going to be the main one. I mean, it's actually working. You understand? This is basically working just fine. Yeah, so as you can see, the scanning process has been completed. So I don't know, we actually have to make sure we understand these kind of things. Well, let me expand this and we will do that on another video. Let's see how this actually works. I think this is going to work, but we can actually go to the codes and from where we have this guy, where we have this progress guy. So we can just copy this, paste this one more time, and we're going to say progress bar 2 should do that. And here we are adding the target file. uh let's see, so let's see the add item to the list view. Let's see. So we are adding the item to the list view. So list view dot items dot add this, so we should be able to work. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so one thing we have to do is we were not adding the item. So what we have to do is we just have to say the list view one dot items dot add, and now we will add the item just like that. I think this should work. I think that basically I think this should work. So let's click on this. Oh, let's stop it and come back to the scan. Let's remove this guy. So we're just gonna make this guy here. Click on start. And now we're gonna scan for a particular file. So let's go to the desktop, cube, click on OK. And there you go. You see, these files are now clean. You can see they are scanning and all of them are now clean files. If there is a threat, then it will detect these files as threat. Now, I hope you understand this kind of system. I believe you guys will be wondering, how can we detect to see this file is a virus or not? Well, on our next video, we're going to see how we can identify a virus and identify a file which is not a virus. So on our next video, we're going to see how we can read out to see a file which is a virus and a file which is not a virus. All right, thank you very much. I hope this video helps a lot and you are building your antivirus software as we intended to do. All right, so since you don't want to miss any episode I will be uploading, Please don't hesitate to smash the subscribe button, like the video, share the video, and the most important thing is to leave a comment below the section if you have any problem. Also, we will be updating the next course on how we can identify if a file is a threat and how to get the MD5 hashes collection from the internet, which are being marked as threat on your computer. Until then, have a nice day. And Isoft Original is out. Bye now.